Hi everyone, and welcome to our first Q&A of the season. My name is Caitlin Townsend. I am the interim artistic producer of Fringe North for this season. We're so glad that you could join us today and spend some time with us. We're really looking forward to it. For those of you who don't know about Fringe North, we are a festival, Fringe Festival located in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. And I have with me here today Garrett as well. Garrett, would you like to take a moment to quickly introduce yourself and then I'll get us started?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Garrett M. Ryan. I am currently working as the, artist relations go-to for the Fringe North Festival this season. I've been a participating artist in the past, and I'm really excited to be on this side of things this season.
That's awesome to have you on the team. Our team is fantastic this year. Appreciate each and every one of you if you're watching. Yeah, so for those of you who are new to the Fringe space, you may be wondering, well, what is Fringe North? Why do we exist? And all of those. We're going to get to your questions today. So like I mentioned, we are located in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and this is the traditional land of Wadding, the traditional land of the Anishinaabe, Missionabee Cree, and Métis people. And this territory is covered by the 1850 Robinson-Huron Treaty. And for settlers such as myself, we want to acknowledge the history that comes with this land and that we are grateful to be guests here and grateful to have the opportunity to learn and grow and participate in knowledge sharing as we do so and head towards truth and reconciliation. So Fringe North has been around since about 2016, and we are a multi-arts festival primarily focused on performative arts with a strong emphasis on theater in particular. So Fringe festivals come from the theater space, and being located in the Soo, we have a little bit of expansion beyond that, but we're really excited to offer arts to our community and for artistic opportunities for artists in the North, because it can be hard to find places to just express your craft and to come together as a community doing so. So each year our festival runs in August. It's really exciting time. We are headed into the summer season coming up and heading towards the festival this year. Which is why we wanted to take some time to just answer some questions about what we are and what we're offering so that everyone can get involved and learn a bit more about what opportunities will be coming up this summer. So what exactly is a Fringe festival in particular, and kind of like what does that mean if we're a Fringe festival? So like I said, Fringe festivals focus primarily on theater with performative arts included within that. And since the pandemic and having digital formats, we've kind of been expanding what exactly that means, but that is the background. So we are typically alternative and experimental new art, up and coming artists, artists that may want to try a new approach or something that they're not sure how it will go or that they need to kind of test the waters with. That's a great place to have for Fringe as well. It's perfect for artists who want to kind of push against the typical approaches to art as well and try something different, something new, and something exciting. So our slogan that we usually use is expect the unexpected, because there's always something different and creative and fun with the Fringe world and the Fringe festivals. It could also be described as like the place for artists who don't feel like they have a true home. That's what we're trying to create here at Fringe North, is that sense of home and community and places for artists to come together, not only express their own craft, but to network with other artists, and kind of the way that artists work when it just snowballs and new ideas come from working together, all those different pieces that can come from just like the community approach to art. We are also uncensored. That is an important mandate of Fringes as well. So that means that we don't curate our festivals. It's first come, first serve. Some Fringe festivals use a lottery system as well, and we do not omit anyone based on their content, and there's no like standard that you have to meet to be able to enter Fringe. You can just come as you are and offer whatever it is that you want to offer and talk about. Yeah, so like I said, it's first come, first serve for our festival. We do offer different streams to provide different opportunities, but it is always for us that first come, first serve space. It can also be a good place for artists to want to kind of like pivot, and maybe you've been in the artistic field for a while and you want to just try something new or try to approach things differently with a new mindset. get into a new craft that maybe you've never even tried before, try a whole different area of art, Fringe welcomes all of that. Or for artists who have like that cross-disciplinary approach, that it's not really one specific art. And sometimes it can be hard to find places where all of that is invited, because you feel kind of like boxed in if you're in like the theater space versus music, and someone who wants to just approach all of it at once can definitely do so here. So I guess it's like that creative and innovative and exploration space for art. One thing that kind of came up too was like the heart of what theater is. So last year during the pandemic and switching to these digital formats, and it's very different. It's different space than having live theater. So it really kind of shifted our perspective as a festival as to what we could include as art and what it actually means to be involved in the theater space. So I think for myself, so I won't speak for everyone, but like for myself, the heart of theater really isn't just that stage piece. Like there is that like live performative element that a lot of artists will feed off of, like how their audience responds to certain things, and that's definitely a part of theater. But to me, the heart of theater is the type of performative arts. So if you watch something that's filmed, has like a film, a Hollywood film, it's going to look different than like filmed theater, even when it's designed not to be filmed live on stage. But that element of how the acting comes across is a little bit different. Like theater has like a heart to it, that it's a different form, almost like that more body language expression than like film that relies heavily on like facial expression and those different things. So last year really gave us the opportunity. For those who weren't around, we went completely digital last year. We didn't offer anything in person, and to dive into what the heart of theater actually is and how the Fringe can like bring that out and be a place for that. And I think that's really important too when we consider these different multidisciplinary arts that are not maybe like what we would consider like true theater. And I say that in air quotes because, again, what is theater? But having that approach of that heart of theater that's expressing itself in a more musical way or in a more like dance or any of these different things. So yeah, I think that's like a really cool thing that we now have to explore post pandemic in terms of opening the door to broadening what that art can look like. Here at Fringe North, we also had like the storytellers event this past year too. So we have like a strong emphasis on Fringe is really that place to provide everyone a platform to share their story, whether that story is through theater or dance or through music. And it's that storytelling expression. And that's what we wanted to do here, is provide everyone the place to share their voice, share their story. And whether it's a true story of something that they've been through, whether it's something fictitious that you've created, whether it's sharing things that were based off of real life experiences, but kind of approached in a new way, all of those different things to really raise your voice and let it be heard and let others grow and learn from that voice, and also process their own stuff, because we always, as human beings, learn through stories and from other people's stories. So that's a really exciting part of it too, an element of it. So that said, anyone can participate in Fringes, and especially at Fringe North, it is that great equalizer of, you don't have to have been in the arts for a long time. You don't have to necessarily be new either. Like you can be any age, any ability, from any discipline, any experience level, whether you're starting out and a veteran to the art space, or sorry, whether you're starting out or a veteran to the art space and have been here a long time. So we really do cover all of that ground. And like I said, because we are multidisciplinary arts, for sure, there's something for everyone. Whatever your artistic taste is, you can find it here at the Fringe, whether you're coming in from that artist side or as a patron wanting to engage in the shows and be a part of the festival on that end. So yeah, so that's a quick little overview of what we offer as Fringe North. Garrett, did you have anything that you would like to add?
Yeah, I think, well, there's a lot of interesting conversations around what really constitutes theater. I think Fringe North, especially last season, being all digital, gave artists a really cool place to explore that and maybe push the boundaries of what actually constitutes theater versus film versus television. And there's a lot of gray area in there that I don't think anyone has a strong definition of what theater is versus what film is. People are still really trying to delve into that 3 years or whatever into the pandemic now. But yeah, I was very happy as an artist last season to be able to be a part of those conversations and be a part of those experimentations. And like Caitlin said, that's what Fringe North and just broadly Fringe festivals in general offer, is that space to be creative and push boundaries and try things that you might not necessarily be able to try in going through the traditional routes of producing theater. Work that you might not get the board backing or the funding for, something that you are really passionate about but maybe is a little too out there, a little too different. This is the place to put that work forward and showcase it. And that's what got me into doing Fringes in the first place, is having that space. So I am very grateful to be in this role right now and helping others, produce their weird, experimental, crazy, all of the above kind of work in this space. Work that's pushing those boundaries, and I'm happy to be here to help facilitate that.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely a space for everyone is welcome. And like,
Mm.
I want to just add to that too. Like, if you feel like your stuff isn't out there and you just want a space
Oh
to
yeah,
share it, like that, it's more than welcome here too. We're not just for one or the other. It's again that all-encompassing piece.
totally. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've done a whole mix of stuff. I've done some very out there stuff, and then last year for Fringe North, I did a very more kind of standard two-hander kitchen sinky type of play that we just we filmed on stage. There's room for it all, and I encourage it all. I'm excited to see all of it. I want to see the weird and different and experimental stuff, and then I want to see someone come up and do some more of the traditional theater stuff. I love all of it. I love performance. Bring it all, please.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing that I didn't mention too is like we also have like street performers usually in a regular year. We won't, unfortunately, this year with just being in transition from the pandemic, but that's been a big part of our Fringe North too, is like just individuals juggling on the side of the street and like those types of fun performative pieces too.
Mm-hmm.
So now that everyone kind of has like a little bit of idea of what Fringe North is, and if you feel like you still don't understand the full picture, stick around because we're going to dive in deeper. But this is just like getting to the surface layer and getting deeper and deeper as we go. So I wanted to chat a little bit about the history of Fringe North too. So now that we know like what it is and kind of where we are, well, how did we get here? So the history of Fringe North really has to start with the history of Fringe festivals in general. So fringes are a global movement at this point, but it all started in Edinburgh with that theater feel and like wanting to have that more experimental piece and just open the door for anyone who wants to access theater, and rather than having like it, I guess like through the years it's kind of been seen as a more um, I don't know, like prim and proper approach to theater. So having that door and space opened for everyone to just come as they are and to not necessarily need to be like top of your craft. You can be starting out, you can be at the top of your craft, you can be anywhere in between, like all of that. So how did we get to North America and Canada from Edinburgh? Well, the first Fringe festival in North America was actually in Edmonton. So they are the largest in North America at this point. And from there, it kind of like expanded. So with Fringe North, again, we have like all of these performative arts. We are tied to the CAF network. So the CAF network stands for the Canadian Association of Fringe Festivals. And with that, we have access to learning from all the different Fringe festivals who've been a lot longer, around a lot longer than us, and to gain from their knowledge and also see what others are doing and kind of like take little ideas from that. And like I said earlier, with the artistic space, it's always building off of each other's ideas and like working together collaboratively, so we can see what they're doing and kind of see what will work for Sault Ste. Marie and the Algoma district and what's going to benefit us in this area. So again, we started in 2016 is when we were founded, and then we actually ended up having festivals every year until 2020, when we had to pull back a little bit because, well, the pandemic hit and we could not have a regular in-person festival. So we did not have a full-fledged festival that year. We did have Project Mission occur, which I will talk a little bit further about later on. But we didn't have like a full proper festival that year. And then in 2021, we shifted to a digital format. So we did have a festival last year, but it was completely digital. There wasn't much offered in person. We did have some watch parties, but all of the content was live streamed, or like we offered it as a live stream, but it was pre-recorded live streamed to viewers. So yeah, we did have to switch to digital formats. And there's a lot of, I guess, there's advantages and disadvantages to online formats, because like I said, it really did expand our view on what art could be, but at the same time, there's always like missing that in-person piece and the in-person element that just wasn't possible or safe to do last year. So that has brought us to this year, which is really, really exciting. We are, for the first time ever, offering a hybrid festival. So we will continue to have that digital component, but we are also going back to adding some live pieces to the festival. So this year's festival is going to be August 18th to 21st, and it's going to be super exciting, and we will share more details about that further along the way. I'm not sure, Garrett, if you want to add anything to the history of Fringe, or if you know much about it at this point, because you did just come on the team not that long ago. But
yeah, I guess the only thing that I can add is just my personal experience with it. I've just been I've been a very big proponent. I'm from North Bay. I'm from Northern Ontario. I've been a very big proponent of Northern Ontarian arts. So I've been very happily following the development and advancement of Fringe North. I participated in Fringe North for the first time in 2018. So I guess that would have been the second festival. I guess that would make sense. So from the get-go, they have been doing amazing work. So I'm very happy to be involved now and to see them develop. And the thing that I think really made me want to join the team is that the team from back when I was there in 2018 to participating last year and now joining the team has always been so passionate and dedicated to making this festival grow and creating a space for artists in Northern Ontario, for artists in the Algoma region. And I'm just very happy that it's been, how long has it been now then? It's 2016, like 7 years?
So 2016 we were founded, but I think our first festival was actually the 17th.
Okay, yeah.
So
right.
And then we had a year off for 2020. So I'm not sure what, like, is this our fifth or sixth year?
Fifth or sixth. Well, I'm happy that that they're continuing to happen. Basically, that's all I want to say. I'm happy to have watched the festival grow, and I'm happy to be involved in helping it grow now.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I will chat a little bit now about what Fringe North offers for those who don't know and have like kind of a general sense now that we've been chatting a bit, but don't know like the details. So again, we have our festival each August. So this year, the 18th to the 21st, with both that live and digital components. We also offer the Fringe North podcast. So we have, this is housed on our YouTube channel, which if you're watching on YouTube right now, you can jump on to see our podcast as well. And it's also been picked up and put on Shaw TV as well. So you can see us on local television on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So that's another element that we add. We also have Project Mission. So this was the Indigenous artists working collectively, supporting each other through their creative journeys. So it's not just about creating the final product, but working together and collectively throughout that and offering that support through sharing circles and receiving guidance from elders as well. And again, we had the first Project Mission was in 2020, and it replaced our festival that year because we just couldn't have a full festival in the pandemic. And now we're actually offering a second round of it this year. So there will be part of Project Mission Part 2 in the festival for everyone to see this year. So stay tuned and look out for that because it's really cool content and you're going to really enjoy it for sure. We also offer various arts events when we can. So this past year, we had a storytelling event in March, and this was digital with music, podcasts, artist roundtables, and an artist documentary as well. All of this is still up on our YouTube channel. So if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to jump over and take a look at those when this is done as well. And we also offer an emerging artist in residency program. So this is for new and up and coming artists, and it's with the Susan Barber Memorial Fund. So we do have funding through them, which we are really grateful for. And it offers a chance for new artists who are, like the program says, who are emerging artists into the field, provides them with support and a chance to further their craft and get a feel for it and get started in the industry, which is really, really exciting and really cool to see, and to just see like the artists blossom through that process as well. It was really neat, and that was started last year as well. Yeah, so I think that's the main pieces that we offered. During the festival season this year, we will also have artist roundtable talks. So today we have our Q&A that we are experiencing right now, but we're hoping to have these lives every Thursday and to invite artists to participate so that everyone can get a sense of who our artists are this year in the festival and get to know them better. In some cases, it may be seen from team members like myself and Garrett today. In the future, it could be other team members and board members, and just getting a sense of like who we are as a festival, who's involved this year, and what shows you can come see, all of those fun pieces. So stay tuned every Thursday night throughout the summer to get a chance to see and learn more about what will be up and coming and what will be involved in August Festival this year. And again, the dates, because I cannot repeat this enough, August 18th to 21st will be our festival dates this year. Did you have anything to add, Garrett, in terms of what we offer as a festival?
I don't think I had anything to add. I think you covered everything. I'm just really looking forward to doing some of the artist roundtables and the podcasts. I did a podcast with you last year, and it was very fun. Go check that out. It was I think we had a great conversation. I'm really happy to get those up and going again. We have some great conversations. All the stuff that we're talking about right now about especially last year, the hot topic was about how do we do theater digitally, how do we do it in the pandemic. There's a lot of really interesting and insightful conversations, and I'm sure it's going to be the case again this season. So definitely keep your eyes open for that, because it's going to be great. We have some fantastic participating artists, and they're very smart, very interesting people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always fun to get to know them. I think that was one of my favorite elements of being involved last year, was just like getting to know all of our artists on a deeper level, and just to see their heart and passion behind their work that they do, and just some amazing people involved in the festival for sure. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's talk a little bit now about this year's festival and what it will entail in particular. So like I mentioned, 4 days, August 18th to the 21st, which for those of you who don't have your calendar memorized like myself, that is a Thursday through to a Sunday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Again, we're going to be hybrid, so we are offering both a digital and live component. So you will be able to attend shows digitally, and you will be able to attend shows live as well. And we will be integrating some watch parties throughout. So if you do attend live, there will be opportunity to see some of that digital content too. So the first full day, the Thursday, will be an opening ceremony on our YouTube platform here. So you can see it here with access to the digital shows beginning on that Thursday. And there will be a shout out to the Steeped in Stone project happening at the Old Stone House that day as well, for those who are interested in attending something live and to be in person at an event. On Friday and Saturday, we will have shows as well as digital access to the shows. So there will be digital access throughout the entire festival. And then Friday, Saturday, we will have some things happening in person, which is really, really exciting. In the live component, there will be watch parties, like I mentioned. There'll also be like different forms of arts too. So it's not just all theater, there's music, some, I think, comedy acts in there too, different pieces. that will be available. There'll be more to come as we get closer to the festival, and some announcements around which artists in particular are going to be participating. And then on the Sunday, it's going to be a workshop day. So again, the digital content will still be available, and there will be some workshops happening in person. So far, it looks like there will be over 20 artists and artist groups in this year's festival. And we are still waiting on some of these artists to confirm. So like I said, we won't do a full announcement today as to who all is involved, but that will come. So keep your eyes out, keep tabs on our social media, on our YouTube channel. That information will be coming soon. Anything that you would like to add, Garrett?
No, I think that's good. Yeah, just keep your eye out. We're still in the process of confirming artists. Like I said earlier, we've got a lot of very exciting artists. I'm super excited for when we can put those names out there. So keep your eyes open for that.
Yeah, and if you are an artist watching and you haven't confirmed yet, please send us an email. We have had some trouble with things going to spam, so feel free to contact us at this point if you're like, wait, I haven't heard. That would be why. Okay, so I wanted to dive a little bit into now kind of that idea of why are we doing a hybrid event this year, and like why is that the approach that we decided to go with, and why is it important to offer hybrid elements? So I wanted to chat here about like the pandemic has been hard and it has been difficult in many ways, but I think there's also a lot of lessons to be learned and a lot to rethink going forward. And so this year in particular, with things still kind of being in flux a bit, not everyone is necessarily feeling safe going out in public yet, and some people are, but to have those different options for those who, depending on your safety level and how much you're willing to leave the house right now, we don't want to leave people behind. But also there is this element of not everyone can always get out to places in person. And I think in the North, we can sometimes recognize that a little bit more than other places because it is sometimes just hard to connect to different things happening. So there is that element too of just like, not everyone can drive into the city to watch things, but also like that element of, so for myself, I have an autoimmune disorder, and there are times when I am completely bedridden and I can't get out of bed. And it's kind of like debilitating and it feels like overwhelming. And one thing that actually I was really grateful for during the pandemic was it kind of opened up that space again where when I'm trapped like in bed and can't leave the house, I could interact with the world because everything was digital, everything was available, projects were happening online, events were happening online, and it felt like being invited into space again. And I think that that's something we shouldn't leave behind just because we're coming out of the pandemic, because there is a group of people who can't always get out to things. And like for myself, it's not constant, but I never know what day it's going to hit me and all of those different things that can come with that. So to take the lessons that we've learned through the pandemic and recognize that if we want to truly be an accessible space, which that's one of the huge things with Fringes, is having that platform where anyone can come and be an artist, anyone can come and watch art, and to keep that like low barrier to access. And part of that moving forward, I believe, is to have hybrid options so that people who can't get to places in person can still be part of it and invited and welcomed into our community, and not seen as like a secondary piece of our community, but has the heart of it in and of itself. So to keep options available for those who may not be able to attend in person, and to learn from what we went through with the pandemic, and to see the things that our eyes have been open to rather than just closing them again and walking off, to actually taking those lessons in and learning from them and adjusting approaches to be that space that's truly for everyone and not just saying that we're for everyone. It also means that being in the Algoma district, I'm very aware that a lot of you go out to camp during the summer. So it does mean that if you can't drive into town for the day to attend the festival, there are options for you to attend from your camp, especially if it's like a rainy day. You can participate and support the festival. I will say that it's worth traveling in. There are going to be some really cool artists, which again, I don't want to spoil too much at this point, but it's definitely worth coming in for. But if for any reason that you just can't, you can still support us and participate in the festival. And that's a really exciting thing. And also like from northern communities, and like last year we had people from across the globe attend our festival. We sold tickets in New Zealand, Australia, the UK, super exciting stuff that anyone can attend from anywhere in the world. and still see the content, which is really cool. Yeah, I think I covered. Oh, the other piece I wanted to talk about too is that, um, yeah, in the zoo, there's not always necessarily that much to do in summer because everyone does go out to their camps. So to have the festival has something, and we do have like pockets of things happening around the city all the time, but to have something for just to add to that for people to come out in person and to really appreciate the summer months because we don't have very many of them up here this north, and to enjoy that sun while we have it. So to be outside and enjoying the festival and to be with other people. So yeah, so I think both components of the hybrid festival are necessary and needed, um, and well worth it. So do you have anything to add, Garrett? I feel like I've been talking a lot.
No, no, you're good. Yeah, I would definitely very much so encourage people to come out in person. I am so excited to be in person again. I'm itching to be up on a stage, or I'm not up on a stage performing in front of people. I don't know why I had that in my head. I'm itching to see people up on a stage and me be in the audience. I'm itching to have that connection again. It's such a special feeling being in either on the stage or in the auditorium, just being there. But absolutely, you know, if our mandate is really focused on being an accessible festival and being a festival for everyone. So I'm so happy that we are holding on to this hybrid format. And yeah, you know, especially for Northern Ontarians, a lot of us, I think, have family kind of scattered around, and it's long drives. it's we are not like I currently live in Southern Ontario. I live in the GTA. If I'm driving to, you know, different if you know families scattered around in the GTA, you know, there's traffic, but driving from Toronto to Hamilton is not like driving from North Bay to Timmins or Sudbury to Sault Ste. Marie. Like though, and just the vast distances. So it's very nice that at least for me last year as a participating artist, being able to say, hey, you can actually see my work, you can support me without having to leave your house, without having to take a 6-hour drive to Sault Ste. Marie or to wherever. So in terms of the accessibility and in terms of just being in the north and letting people see your work without having to have the hassle of traveling. But if you want to travel, please do, because it's going to be great. In the in-person stuff is going to be great. I definitely don't want to undercut how important it is to be back in person. That's so exciting. But it's great that we have the digital option as well, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and kind of building off of that, like accessibility piece. I think we should talk a little bit about that too, because we kind of like glazed past that when talking about what fringes are. So with fringes, like the main, like the main heart of why this was here was not even just like access for artists, but for patrons as well. So we do have pay what you can options for all of our shows, with suggested ticket prices capped at $12, so that it stays like within reasonable amounts that people can afford, and like to open up the door for everyone who wants to participate, that you don't have to have like a huge fee for a night out to a theater event. You can, or like to the music event if you wanted to attend the music or any of the other pieces that we do have arts wise. Anyone can engage, anyone can enjoy the art and be able to come out and to really appreciate that space. We do also work hard to make things accessible in terms of choosing buildings that like anyone can access, and that like in this year we have like a, well, I don't want to spoil too much, but like an outdoor space that we're looking at setting up. So but in other years, like looking for buildings that would either have like accessibility for those in wheelchairs, or like what do they call, elevators? I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. Any of that stuff, like we do consider that when choosing locations as well. There's also, yeah, just all these different pieces around like wanting everybody to be able to access and enjoy the art. So all different ways that gets approached, but we do pay attention to that for sure. Having been in the theater space yourself, Garrett, and also like in the fringe world too, what do you see as being some of those key elements that make it unique compared to other spaces that may just not have those pieces in mind?
In terms of accessibility,
Mhm.
yeah, I I think, well, a lot of the time when we do Fringe festivals, we have them in sort of repurposed spaces. Um, so if we are building sort of the theater space from scratch, almost a lot of times we will just have a room that is big enough that we can set up a stage. So it's almost like we're constructing the space from the ground up, and that space can be constructed with those sort of accessibility features in mind and built into it, rather than using a theater that was built 100 years ago where it's impossible to install a ramp or an elevator or anything like that. So in my experience, and it's not all, it's not to say every Fringe festival is doing it perfectly or doing it exactly right, but I think at least Fringe North and a lot of festivals are really striving to do better in terms of accessibility. And I do really see it in the setting up of spaces, and we're setting up spaces that have room for patrons in wheelchairs, and that have like we said, ramps and elevators and things like that. I know Fringe festivals are really encouraging accessible performances, for people with sensory issues, things like that. That's going into the broader theater world as well. But Fringe festivals, I think, are uh, often really the pioneers of that sort of accessible thinking, and I'm glad it seems to be filtering into some of the bigger spaces now as well. But a lot of those things are being tested out at smaller festivals like ours. So I'm excited to be at the forefront of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think too another important piece of that for anyone watching is that it's a learning process.
Mhm.
So if anyone ever has like feedback on how we can do better or just like ideas, we're always open to hearing those things. We can't necessarily promise you the world, but like we do want to learn and grow and do the best that we can. So always interested to hear from our community because we really do want the festival to be a community approach, not just us creating this thing for you all, but to be together in the process. So always happy to hear different views and different ideas that maybe we just haven't thought of yet or thought about. So yeah, happy to have to hear from our community and to hear how we can be learning and growing and doing better in these different areas. Um, yeah, I think to the importance of, so this is sort of shifting gears at this point, but like I also want to talk a little bit about like the importance of local art and really valuing local art. So with the Fringe Festival, what we do has Fringe North is to actually focus like on local. We do focus on provincial as well and like open the door for anyone to apply, but we do really want to have that heart for Northern Ontario artists. So last year in particular, we had like a stream for northern artists and local artists within the Algoma district. So I do think it's important being this far north that we value northern artists rather than uh, yeah, like giving space and hearing those voices in particular, which is always really exciting. Um, there's always just so much like new and innovative stuff coming out of the north that doesn't always necessarily get attention. So it's really exciting to have a space where we can see some of those projects and just like connect with individuals and get to know you all better. So if you ever have anything cool going on, again, feel free to reach out and let us know. Always happy to hear about art in the region as well. Yeah, any thoughts on like, I guess Garrett, from your personal experience being an artist in the north, like I think we're doing a better job, and maybe that's like me being naive a little bit of like recognizing northern arts, but in some ways, like I think it's still something that we need to learn and grow into. So I'm curious as to what your thoughts are on that area.
There is so much talent in Northern Ontario. I work in theater, like I recognize it in theater. That's just where I am personally, and the people I know. That I know there are so many talented theater artists, but I also know there are so many talented visual artists and poets and musicians, and I've been able to work with some of them, thankfully, over the last little while, doing this work and other work in the past. And what I really would love, and what I love about what Fringe North is doing, and the movement that they're a part of, is I want to create a Northern Ontario that doesn't make artists feel like they have to move away to have a successful and fulfilling career as an artist. I already mentioned that I live in the GTA now. I'm very happy here. I like Toronto a lot, but it is true that even when I moved out of the north, which was 5, 6 years ago, um, it was like, if you wanted to have that kind of successful career as an artist, or if that is what you aspire to, you it was it was unspoken in some ways, but it was pretty clear that you should probably move to Toronto, or you should probably move to Montreal, or somewhere south. Um, I think that's changing now, and I really want to be a part of that movement to change that. I don't want to have Northern Ontario drained of all its talent, because there are so many incredible makers and creators that are from the north that can create art about unique northern cultural things and unique Northern Ontarian issues. And it's such a loss when they are moving away and sort of assimilating into the general Southern Ontario art scene, which is great. If you want to do that, that's fantastic. Please do. Like, don't let me guilt you into staying in Northern Ontario. I didn't. But I'm very happy to still be working within, like, I'm working here, Fringe North. I'm very involved. But I want, if someone has any desire to stay in the north and be making northern art, I want to create an environment where they can do that. So basically, we're not there yet, but organizations like Fringe North are the ones that are going to make that happen. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm excited for. I'm excited for Fringe North to keep developing and growing, and other organizations to pop up and be doing this kind of work.
Mhm. Yeah, and we have so much talent here, and we have so much, like, diversity and talent too. Like, it's not just one, like, sector of art that we're good at. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much talent across the board here, and it's just amazing to see, and, like, to get to know artists better, and to just provide, like, more opportunities. And yeah, ultimately, just, like, the more opportunities, the
Mhm.
more that artists can actually, like, thrive and stay. And, like, I think you are right, we are doing better. Like, I think that has been progressing for a few years, but it is like that just slow, consistent process, and we do need to do a lot. Like, there's still much more growth to happen in that region, but
Yeah. There needs to be a foundation in place. And once that foundation is there, it's going to be a lot easier to hold on to talent. Um, I know some of the work, like, I was involved a few weeks ago in the Play Smelter Festival, and that's run through Pat the Dog, which is a company based down here, or up here? No, down here.
mm,
I always get like directions confused. We're down in Southern Ontario. Yes, that makes sense. Down here it's based, but yearly they do their Play Smelter Festival, where they highlight northern talent. The festival happens in Sudbury. Um, and I was in talking with Lisa O'Connell, who is the artistic director at Pat the Dog, and who puts on Play Smelter in collaboration with many others, obviously. That's the same thing she has said. She's not from Northern Ontario. She came to Northern Ontario, I think it was like 13 years ago or something, and she talks about falling in love with the artistic culture there, and really wanting to help the region develop the foundation and develop the support systems to keep artists there, and develop that system where artists can stay and organically grow together and not have to sort of outsource or leave and come back or anything like that, where you can do it all in Northern Ontario.
Mm.
So other, my point in that is that other people from here, from outside of the region as well, are saying the same things about Northern Ontario. They're noting that there's such strong talent and such a unique but diverse voices coming out of the region. So other people are noting that, as well as us, who obviously have a bit of a bias because we're from there. But I can say that other people are also seeing that, so that's exciting to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think like one of the main things that I want to chat about with this is like the idea that creating that space and building that space really does require a community. And we really do. Fringe festivals are primarily volunteer. Have a team at Fringe North seasonally, but and we had a year-round team this year too, thankfully. But yeah, we are based. Fringes are known for volunteers coming together and providing that space for artists and working to make that happen. So if you are someone who's looking to get involved, like how do I support this with arts in the North and creating those more opportunities, there's lots of ways to get involved. So I want to go through a couple of them now. Volunteering, of course, is great, like volunteer hours, volunteering behind the scenes, whether it's at the festival or like leading up to the festival. There's lots of different ways to volunteer and get involved. Sponsorships as well. It takes money to run an event, and it takes money to provide space for artists to make money. So to provide sponsorships to help make that happen too, not only for the artists, but also to provide our team with job opportunities and for us to create, being involved in the arts side of setting up an event, not just the actual being on stage side of the arts as well. So both sides of it, as well as like at Fringe North this year, we're offering all of our artists $100 honorarium, so that even if like tickets don't sell, they still make something from their event. Tickets will sell, and we're excited about that, but just like to have that additional boost in what they're making as an artist. So you can provide through sponsorships. We like to partner with local businesses around town, as well as individuals. Like you can tip the Fringe, like even $2 makes a difference. I think we put it in the chat, the tip the Fringe, if anyone is interested, but all of that makes this happen and allows us to support artists and allows artists to make a living from their craft. So super important if you do want to get involved. If you can't afford to give, there are other ways to support the festival. Sharing our socials on social media, super helpful to get the message out there to those who want to participate in the festival and to come out and purchase tickets. Sharing word with friends and just spreading word about the festival so that people know that it's happening. You can also see us here every Thursday night. We'll be live for the next couple of months as we head towards the festival, to support by watching and sharing this content on our YouTube channel. Let's see, how else can you get involved? There's lots of ways to get involved with Fringe North for sure. Yeah, am I missing anything specific with this, Garrett, or?
I think we're good. I'm just very quickly going to pull up our, we have a list of how to get involved. So let's see if there's anything that we didn't mention. No, yeah, that's it. Just aside from that, just yeah, come to the festival, come out and support us. And if you're willing to make the drive, like we of course we're encouraging our local Sault Ste. Marie community to come. But if you want to make the drive, then from wherever, if you're coming from Toronto, if you're coming from further away, please make the drive. We're going to have fantastic people at this festival. Of course, you can have the digital option as well, and that's fantastic. Please support our amazing digital artists. But if you want to see some good art, then I say have a little road trip. It's going to be great.
Yeah, definitely worth the drive. And we do have like lots of things to do here tourism wise. So like make a week-long trip of it even, and stop by the festival for part of it, but there's lots to do up north. We are underrated when it comes to the tourist section. There are lots lots of tourist opportunities. We have like the Bushplay Museum. We have fantastic hiking around town.
Yeah.
We have the museum that we will be having the festival at. There's lots of little things to do around town that are really fun and amazing. And you will definitely enjoy this year's art, and it will definitely be worth your drive. So
Mhm.
come to the Sioux. We'd love to see you in person and spend some time with you for sure.
Mhm.
Um, if there's any ideas that you have for how to get involved that we may not have mentioned, I have our email down below, siouxfringe@gmail.com. If you are wanting to reach out, see how you can get involved. If you also want to make a donation, but you don't have PayPal, through our PayPal link, we do also take e-transfers as well. So you can send an e-transfer too, which is really cool. So yeah, is there anything else that we wanted to touch on that I have missed?
Did we talk about the how does the fringe world benefit artists? I guess we did. I don't know if I can't remember if we talked about it directly. I'm not sure. It was kind of
I,
built into everything.
yeah, it was intertwined. We can chat about that a little bit further though. So again, we do have honorariums for artists. We also have, it's a great place to just like test out something new. So I have heard of a lot of fringe artists who, if they're wanting to try out a new play before they put like all the time and effort into actually like hosting it, they'll do like a little kickoff version at fringe festivals to see like, especially with comedy, what's landing with the audience and what's not, so that they can kind of build off of it. So it allows them not only to make money from the festival itself, but to kind of like further what they're working on and to get a feel for how their project that they've been working on is going. So there's that element too that really allows artists to like, it's that community piece to art where it's not just an artist creating a piece, but it's the community creating it together, and based on that feedback, like having that has patrons in the festival, you're actually like involved in where the art goes from here and building it. So
Yeah.
I always have found that one a neat piece because it makes me feel like my laughter at a show actually has like value beyond just the 10 seconds that I laughed for and
Mhm.
like those different things. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
did you want to add?
I was just gonna say, yeah, absolutely. I've seen many people that have workshopped shows at fringe festivals and then gone on to do them either as touring shows or in bigger venues. I've seen shows that are, you know, fully mounted, like fully produced shows at fringes that have gone on and done that. I have also seen shows that have been staged readings, where it's really for the writer to test out the script. Um, and they do maybe more of a creative staged reading rather than just scripts in hand kind of thing. Um, but then they've gone and developed the play a little bit more. So I would say to any artists who um, maybe want to apply in the future to do a fringe festival or to do Fringe North specifically, is you don't have to necessarily have like a fully done mounted play with costumes and all the big budget kind of stuff. You can do something as simplistic, as minimalistic as just having scripts on a stage in all black, something like that. Um, and make it really engaging and really exciting to be a member in that audience. It doesn't. I have not been a member in an audience when there's been something like that and they put the work in where I've gone, oh, this is like half done. It's very exciting to be watching a in development piece. So if you have something, if you have a loose idea, if you have anything like that, Fringe is such a good place to do these sort of experimental test versions of these shows. So going forward, or for even any of our artists that are involved this year and are frantically trying to, you know, put something together, we Fringe is all about experimenting and playing. Please, we want to see the experiments, the works in progress, things like that. Like Fringe is
Mhm.
so good for that kind of thing.
Mhm. Yeah, and of course, I think we didn't mention 100% of ticket sales go to artists as well.
Yes.
So how fringe festivals support artists, like they get everything that they earn. We do not take a portion of it at all. Um, yeah, artists get all of the profit, which is sometimes rare in the art world, unfortunately. But yeah, so Fringe is a really good place to get money into the pockets of artists. That is what we are here to do, and to help support and not just learn and grow in their craft, but to actually financially gain from it as well, and to be able to support themselves and make a career and a living out of their art.
Yeah, I can say just from my perspective, just from being involved in Fringe festivals, and I talked about this not on the stream, but we had this conversation, Caitlin, the other day, where I talked about my experience in Fringe and how that kind of shaped me going forward. Is I I did my first Fringe coming out of high school a number of years ago, and it was my experience in doing that show and getting paid to make art. This is like my first time ever really like I had done theater in high school, but actually getting paid, getting the ticket sales um, for my work, for my words on stage. Um, it was such an incredible feeling, and it completely made me change career paths. I was going into political science, going into international relations, and I think like a week or so after Fringe, I ended up switching programs
Mhm.
because I had people coming up to me and saying like, you need to. It was the people coming up to me and the encouragement, and then also just the fact that I was getting paid as a working artist for the first time.
Mm.
So Fringe providing that experience for emerging artists, like really giving them that confidence boost to go like, look, you can make this thing work. You can, like, it's not impossible or out of the realm of possibility to make a career as an artist, to make money as an artist. So Fringe in providing that is so fantastic. And I'm so excited to see any of the artists involved this year that are going to experience anything similar. I want to see people have that confidence because of Fringe to pursue the arts.
Yeah, it definitely shows artists what's possible and
Yeah,
what their future can be in the art world, and that it can be exciting and vibrant and fantastic. So I'm so glad to hear that that like had such an impact on your life. And just a shout out to viewers too, like as I mentioned, 100% of ticket sales goes to artists, and it does enable them to have those like life-changing moments, if I can call it that, with your life,
yeah,
because I feel like it was
absolutely.
so important. And that's also why your donations make such a difference, because we don't actually profit off of the artists running their shows. So we do run through funding and grants and different things like that. So we do depend on your donations to make this happen for artists, so that they can have like these life-changing moments that just allow them to see the road possible in the art world, and that they can build a living off of it. So super exciting to hear that. Thank you for sharing your story, Garrett. It's great to hear that had such an impact and made a difference in your life. It's a really beautiful thing when people are able to pursue their dreams and go after them and actually make them happen, and see that they can make it a reality. So always wonderful to see that.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, is there anything else we wanted to touch on, or should we? I did want to mention a little teaser. I can't give away too much at this point, but we will be launching a new website soon as well. So stay tuned for that. Watch on our socials for more information. Really looking forward to that. I hope you all enjoy it. And yeah, we will be back here every Thursday night with different artists throughout the festival season leading up to the festival. And again, this year's festival hybrid version, you can participate live or digitally, and it's running from August 18th to the 21st. And we look forward to seeing all of you there. Did you have anything to add before we close off, Garrett?
Thank you so much for watching, for being fantastic supporters of what we're trying to do here, and I can assure you that your support and your trust in us is going to be very well warranted. We're going to be doing some great stuff this year with some great participating artists. So thank you so much, and we're so excited to showcase what we're doing, what we're working on.
And if you have any further questions that we didn't get to today, or just wanted to reach out to see how you can get involved, the email address is down below, suefringe@gmail.com. Reach out to us at any time, and we would love to hear from all of you. Thank you so much for your time and for watching today. Merci, miigwech, gracias, and we will see you all again soon. Have a wonderful day.